Hello everybody, my name is Francis Hitchens and I'm a Principal Software Engineer with Amdocs. My presentation is going to be about the open source Vault database plugin that I authored earlier this year. The plugin allows a Vault secrets engine to create and manage the entire life cycle of any kind of account in a Couchbase database. I will be doing a short presentation, this, followed by a hands-on session where I will demonstrate how to install the plugin and how it can be used to administer Couchbase accounts. After that, I will show you how the plugin is integrated with the Spring Cloud config package. And if you don't know what that is, it's the popular framework for improving Java programmer productivity. So here's the agenda. Let's get started. If you're not intimately familiar with Vault, let me briefly explain what it is. Vault is a HashiCorp tool used for securely storing and accessing secrets. It is typically used in large enterprise settings where many different databases and authentication systems need to be unified and controlled by a single group. Most importantly for large enterprises, Vault produces detailed auditing for all access to resources, whatever they may be. These audited records are required for enterprises to satisfy many legally mandated reporting standards. Vault has a concept of secret engines, and databases are grouped together as a subset of those. Plugins existed for 10 or so popular databases from Cassandra through to Redshift, plus a custom database plugin mechanism or SDK. Couchbase was a noticeable omission, so I wanted to learn something about Vault, and I used the custom database secrets engine SDK to add Couchbase support earlier this year. This, of course, was done without needing to modify any of the core Vault code. The plugins allow management of already existing static accounts or the generation of dynamic or on-the-fly username password combinations. So the custom plugin mechanism is built around a Google Go interface that the plugin has to implement. The init phase essentially spins up a brand new process that Vault communicates with via the encrypted remote procedure calls, ensuring maximum security. The init phase, let's stop here. Let's start this one again. So, using the custom plugin library. The custom plugin mechanism is built around a Google Go interface that the plugin has to implement. The init method essentially spins up a brand new process that Vault communicates with via encrypted remote procedure calls, ensuring, of course, maximum security for those credentials that are being created and deleted. Create user, no surprises there. This is used for generating dynamic credentials within the database. The renew user method of this interface is essentially a null operation, as Couchbase does not support the concept of account expiration. The revoke user method removes an account from the database, and the rotate root credentials method is used to change the password for the static account that already exists that the DBA will have created for Vault to manage accessing the database with. When the rotate root method is executed, the plugin internally generates a new password and passes that back to Vault, and it is not shared with anybody outside of Vault. Set credentials, on the other hand, receives username and passwords from Vault and uses it to manage less privileged accounts. Close, of course, will terminate the plugin and bring the process down. The plugin SDK is built for many different kinds of databases. You will have noticed on the previous slide that many of the methods had a statement parameter. This can be used in the case of SQL-based databases such as Oracle to pass the SQL query needed to manage the user accounts. Couchbase, of course, has a RESTful interface behind the Go SDK, and instead of passing SQL queries, the statement parameter is just used to pass JSON formatted Couchbase roles and groups, or a combination of the two, between the Vault system and the plugin that does the provisioning of the accounts. Two things to notice here. If you're using the plugin with a Couchbase database prior to version 6.5.0, an existing bucket name needs to be associated with any account management activities. After that, not needed anymore. Also, prior to 6.5.0, group permissions were not available and will cause the account creation to fail from the plugin. Otherwise, the plugin has been tested successfully with Couchbase database versions 5.0.1 through 6.6.0. Okay, so with that over, I'm now going to walk through the setting up Couchbase. Okay, so with that over, I'm now going to walk you through setting up Vault to add the Couchbase database plugin and run it through its paces, creating accounts, revoking credentials, and so on. Okay, so welcome to the second part. In this, I'm going to be going through 6 pieces, and that will be how you build the plugin, how you install the plugin, how you initialize the plugin, how you use the plugin to rotate the password of the secret secure account that's going to be created in Vault and managed from Vault for provisioning all of the user accounts to Couchbase. And I'm going to go through dynamic role creation, and we'll look at static role management after that. So let's get started by building the plugin. For that, I'm going to clone the repository from GitHub. And when that's done, I'm going to start building it using the standard go build command. You will need to have Go installed, enabled to be able to do this, of course. Okay, this will just take a couple of seconds to complete. It's not big. And we're done. You can see it's the green one, and if I try and execute it, it gives me a warning that it's a plugin and not meant to be executed directly. It has to be executed from within a Vault process, if you remember my presentation before. Okay, so that's done. Let's go and start Vault. Starting a Vault server. And to do that, I'll run this command and put it into the background. And we have a running Vault server. If I look in the log, it gives me some useful information. One of them is the root token that we're going to use to authenticate the console. It's not super secure, but this is in development mode, so not to worry. In production mode, it's much more complicated. So let's go here, reload the page, and log in as a super secure user with a root token. Okay, so let's go back to the main secrets, and we can see we've got two secrets engines available, cubbyhole and secrets, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Right, what we're going to do now is go back to the command line, and we're going to have a look at the available plugins that ship with Vault. So you can see we've got database plugins available in the system catalog from Cassandra through to Redshift. No Couchbase. Terrible omission, I'm sure you'll all admit. So let's get started initializing or installing the Couchbase plugin. And with that, I'm going to copy it into the plugin directory that's here. We have it here. And to install it or initialize it in plugin, I need to generate a checksum. Which I have here stored in an environment variable for convenience. And now I'm going to install the plugin using this command. Okay, so now we have it installed. Let's go and check the catalog. And now we see we've got a Couchbase database plugin available. Second one down here. Okay. All right. So we've installed the plugin, we've made it available, we've seen that we've got it there, known to Couchbase, and we're going to the next part. If we go back here, we've only got two secrets engines. We need to enable the database secrets engine. And with this command, I have enabled the database secrets engine. And if we refresh this page, I'll get kicked out and probably have to log back in again. But you can see we do have a database secrets engine available for us to start administrating the Couchbase plugin against. Okay. So let's see how we can connect to it, connect to the database from it. We want to do it securely. So we're going to use we're going to have to get the CA cert out of Couchbase. And if I remember correctly, 1956 is the correct command. I use curl to set this environment variable with a base 64 encoded version of the PEM format kit CA cert that I'm going to then pass into Vault to use to create a secure connection to Couchbase. Okay. So if I do a PS here, you can see I've only got one Vault process running. So now let's initialize the plugin. Okay, that went okay. If I do that PS again, you see I've got two processes running. I've got Vault server and the Couchbase plugin process running separately, so that they're separate and you can't corrupt one from the other. They're communicating with remote procedure calls, as we said. Okay, so let's go back to Couchbase. Let's log out of administrator. And what we're going to do is go and make the system secure by rotating the password that we used to set up this account with. This is vault root, the password was password. That's not very secure. So let's go and do a 1965, which will rotate the root password. The root password is now known only to Vault. Nobody else knows it, nobody can get at it. If we lose Vault, we're in trouble. So, wrong way. So if I try and log in as Vault root, login fails as expected because I've totally changed the password. I'll log back in as administrator and we'll go on to the next part of the demo. So in this part, we are going to be creating the roles to manage dynamic and two dynamic accounts, one that's an administrator account and one that's a less privileged bucket admin account. Okay, so this command creates me a role named demo db admin role, and here you can see the creation statement with the roles that I want to provision when I create the account. These are the standard Couchbase roles. As I said, I can mix them with groups interchangeably, however I want to do it. Okay, and you'll notice I've set up some other parameters. If I move my face, I've got a TTL of 5 minutes, a time to live, and a max TTL of 1 hour by default. Okay, so let's do the same for the demo bucket role. Here again, same thing, TTL, and I've got a role with a different set of permissions. I've got bucket full access, and I've got the bucket name, travel sample. So that worked fine. Nothing has changed in the database. We've still got the same accounts. That's because I haven't requested any credentials for them. So let's just see how those roles look in Vault. You can see I've got two database roles for the demo DB, an admin, and a bucket role. And I can read them to see what they look like internally. So here's the admin role. Here's the creation statement, TTL, max TTL, all the things that we set up. You'll see that these statements, the renew, revocation, and rollback are blank as they are not used in this Couchbase database plugin implementation. Same again for the other role. Again, same different creation statement, same TTL and the rest of it. Okay. So let's see how we use these roles to start creating accounts. So first off, I'm going to request a bucket admin account. Someone with a token that's authorized them to be privileged enough to create a demo bucket role would do this. So I do this and I get back a dynamically created username and a dynamically created password. If we go back to Vault, if we go back to the Couchbase console, you can see we've now got three accounts, all very nice. So let's go back here and let's create a admin role and try and log in with it. So here's my username, horrible long thing, difficult to copy paste, but I will do my best. So let's sign out, enter the password, or rather enter the username first, go back, get the password. And log in. So this will be the account that I've just created. Now, if we go back to console, the Vault console, we can go and have a look in the access into the leases. And here you can see we've got database leases, credentials, and we've got leases for both of the accounts that we just created. So let's go have a look in the admin lease. And you can see we've got 213 seconds left before it expires. So plenty of time, no need to rush. At any point, the Vault system can renew that lease. So I've gone back to 5 minutes now. And of course, at any point, if the account becomes compromised or is no longer needed, I can revoke that lease and it will disappear. And as you can see, you get kicked out of Couchbase. It no longer is available. And of course, we've still got the lease for the other account. Okay. Let's go back to databases and switch back to our console, where we're going to look at the final part, which is administering static accounts. So if you remember, in the database, we had an account that was just called admin. That's the one that we're going to, a legacy account, we're going to take it over with administration from Vault, and we don't want to have to change the username everywhere because it's used by lots of different systems, and we just want to administer it from Vault. So what I am going to do is use this command to create a role to administer the static admin account. And what it does is start managing the account. So if I go and look at that account now, try and get the credentials by reading the credentials using this command, you'll see that it has changed the password already for me in Vault. It was no longer it has changed the password in Couchbase already, and that it's only got 2 seconds left for this password. Crazy quick time to change passwords, I know, but this is a demo, right? So it's changed the password again. Of course, you'd have like 30 days, and people would be forced to come back, authenticate, get a token, and get a new set of credentials every 30 days. But that will be done without you having to manually do it. And of course, the other thing, all of this is audited. Everything that's happening through Vault, an audit record gets written. So I know who comes, who gets the permissions to use this account. how long they've had it, so that if, any crime or any investigation needs to be done, I've got a full picture of what's going on in my database. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this part of the demo. So now let's look at the Spring Cloud Vault database project that I also added Couchbase support to. The project provides client-side support for accessing remote resources, amongst them databases, of course. Originally, it only had a Cassandra, Elastic, Mongo, MySQL, and Postgres as options for requesting credentials from. And last couple of days, the Couchbase support that I wrote got added to the 3.00 M4 release. There isn't a release date yet, though, so you'll have to wait for that. Okay, so this demonstration is going to show you how those credentials, Couchbase credentials, can be requested by a Spring Cloud application with all of the stuff we went through in the last demo hidden from the developer and doesn't need to know anything about the plugin or anything. So let's get started with that. So just in case you're interested, this is the project, Spring Cloud Vault. You can see here it's only got limited database support. This is the milestone release, 19 closed items, and here we are, the most important one, Couchbase plugin support. Okay, so let's look at our Couchbase console. We've got 3 accounts, and that's it. So over we go now to the terminal, and here, if you can see, this little snippet of XML is what you need to add to your POM file to start working with the Spring Cloud Vault config database package. And further to that, okay, I have here a little demo application. That simply uses the auto wiring of the username, password, and the database, specifies the bucket that we're going to be using, has a little user class here that we're going to use to upsert into Couchbase to prove that it actually worked. And that's about it. It's a little web server with a simple hello world return value, nothing more. There's some testing that it worked here, and that's about it. So to drive that, we have the Bootstrap resource. And it's currently set up to use token authentication. We've got a real super secure token that the application is delivered to enable it to communicate with Vault and request whatever secrets it wants. And in order to do that, we enable the Spring Cloud Vault Couchbase portion of the configuration, and we're going to be requesting this role, which will give us this username and password property. And that's basically all I need to do. Of course, an administrator is going to have to create the two roles that were in there. That was the static and the, let's just look again. That was the read-write travel bucket role, and the next demo will use the static read-write travel bucket role. Okay, so let's go to Vault and create these roles that we want for the demo. So here you can see I created the full bucket access role for travel sample against the demo DB, and here's the role name, read write travel bucket is the role. And the token I'm using has full access to this particular role. So if I run the program now, I've already built it and packaged it. It'll start running, spit out a lot of Spring Boot gobbledygook, and it's up and running. The little web server is running. If I can just go here, what it did was create this token, which I used to write some data into the document store. If I use the username as the key, as you can see, we have the document successfully written, username, password, don't want to do anything other than that. And if we look in the security, we have this username created just for this particular purpose. So now if I go and tear the program down, let it stop, you see the username has disappeared. It was only there for the lifetime of the program. As soon as the program went, Vault knew it was tight, got the request to revoke it, and it's gone. Okay. So let's go back and do the static role. That particular request is going to use the admin account. I don't know. So let's create the role for that. Okay, here you go, static read write travel bucket role. The username to use is admin, and it's going to rotate the password every 3 minutes. So let's run the Vault. Let's run the Spring Boot application. Off we go. Bit slower this time. Here we can see the password is A1A blah blah blah, and the username is admin. So if we go back to Couchbase, we look in the bucket, in the documents, look for the document keyed by the username admin. You'll see that we have a document, and here's the password used for the session, and it worked. Okay, so that's just, as we had a 30-second password renewal time, if I run it again this time, we should see a different password. coming up. Yes, E is the password, something FEEK. So let's retrieve the document again. And here we go. As I promised, different passwords stored this time. So you can see it's very simple for developers to use. No need for any vault knowledge other than where to put the token and what other strings to put in the configuration file to retrieve the secrets. That's it. So without further ado, I will sign out and say, I hope you enjoyed that and it wasn't too terribly boring. Actually, I'll say something more positive if you don't mind. So that's it. Of course, I'm willing to answer any questions if you have any at the end of the session or whenever the time is right for that. So thank you for your time and I hope you enjoyed it.